Watching the Kansas game back, what were your big takeaways?
This team's really got a lot of fight in them, and we're 5 possessions away from having wins over the top, 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. So, we always talk about playing our best basketball this time of year, and there's signs that that's still happening, even though there's been a lot of reason that maybe we shouldn't be.
In the past, you've said no moral victories. That's got to be about as close as you can come to moral victories in those last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that there's a lot of reason for these kids not to play as hard as they have. I mean, in a lot of ways, we're not playing for much tangibly, right? It's probably down the postseason ahead of us and all that stuff, but for them, in terms of continuing to build on what we're trying to do as a program, it's inspiring. I'll stop short of saying moral victory. I don't like the connotation that comes with that, and I don't ever want to send a message that, again, losing is okay, because we take the floor every day from November to the end, sometime in March, to try to win every game.
You mentioned the postseason. You guys obviously still have Kansas City. Is that something you've looked ahead to in any way?
No, I mean it'll be here when it's time. I'm as focused on Baylor as I was on November 8th before we went to Charlotte, and excited about the opportunities to go and play. Top 4 team in 4 games, and we talked about that. And other than K-State, I think we've played well and showed that we're a team that still is fighting and competing to see where we can finish.
You guys.
Last time Baylor had quite a bit of success from the 3-point line. What are you guys kind of focused on, and how did it outcome this time?
Just being aggressive defensively. We were obviously not very good defensively against them, and they came into that game not shooting very well at all. And obviously we know that that's something they're very, very capable of, and I think after our game, there was a streak of about 4 or 5 games where they shot exceptional from the 3-point line. So it's something we'll definitely focus on. We started yesterday, and today will continue, and hopefully we'll have some success taking it away tomorrow night.
Thomas seems to have gotten more consistent over the last few weeks in terms of his offensive output. Is it something he's doing differently, or are you guys just kind of doing better jobs of finding him?
There's probably a combination of a lot of things. He's more physically capable. He's done a great job of conditioning his body, because the last 2 years he's really tailed off as the season went on, and a lot of it was physical condition. I think what he did over last summer in terms of his diet and the work he did in the gym gave him confidence that he can sustain more success throughout the season, and he's had more opportunity. Didn't play that much at the end of the last 2 years. And he's another guy, kind of like Lindy. We need to be aggressive. There's only so many guys that can score for us at this point, right? So we need them all to give us as much as they can every game.
I'm writing a story about you more, and just kind of going back, what do you remember when you first recruited? What kind of caught your attention about it?
Just you obviously get to know his story on a personal level, and just his attitude about, he doesn't think about him having a disability. I mean, he doesn't ever talk about it unless you bring it up. And if you don't know, you probably wouldn't assume that he has one by the way he goes about his business. So just knowing that he encompasses some of the values that we appreciate in our program, and that he's got a great work ethic, a tremendous personality, and he's a kid that wants to win. It's hard to get on Yor because he already puts a lot of pressure on himself to do what he can for his teammates. So you got to strike a good balance between teaching and correcting him and telling him that you believe he can do the job. But I really enjoyed recruiting him. He's got a unique family situation, but they've all been extremely supportive, and he's got a lot of people to thank for him being here.
Do you have any favorite memory of maybe him just kind of getting adjusted to the team or working out with him during the summer?
I just remember him struggling with the conditioning part of things. He really had a hard time, and he really didn't know how to handle it, because as a freshman you come in with these expectations of how well you're going to be able to do, and then it's harder than anyone ever really. People try to tell you it's hard, but you go through it and it's even more difficult. But to see where he's come, how far he's come from a conditioning standpoint, from a production standpoint, is something that we're really excited about how it looks moving forward.
You guys picked up Isaac pretty late in the recruiting process last year. What kind of first put him on your radar?
Well, I knew Isaac. I recruited him prior to him getting hurt this summer. So he was injured the summer before his senior year. And obviously I recruited in Texas pretty heavily, just knowing what type of competitor he is. Fresno was a good fit for him at the time. He didn't have a whole lot of high major programs, but once he was available and interested, he was somebody I thought was the type of kid we want to have around here for 4 years and help us build this program into a championship caliber program. Got a winning pedigree. This team beat Avery's team in the state playoffs last week, and he plays for a program that takes a lot of pride in winning. He still keeps in touch, and he's just as much a leader for their team a year removed as he is for ours.
You talked last year about how Jeff and Mitch were being leaders for the first time. Now this year, Cam, Lindy, Thomas, leaders for the first time. How valuable will it be next year that those guys are going to be second-year leaders?
I mean, that'll be a big part of us having a chance to take a step forward next year. Is those guys having tried to carry the load and then being able to tell the young guys what it really is like as they step into, again, they'll come in here with high expectations. People think that they're going to save the world, and they won't. We'll really need Cam and Lenny and Thomas to still help them. But from a talent standpoint, we'll be better. We just need those guys' experience to help the young guys learn. This is going to be some adversity. Hopefully not what we've experienced this year, but that you just keep doing your job every day, and eventually things turn out well for you.
Throughout the school year, whether it be like football season or basketball season, you'll have big weekends. What kind of goes into those weekends?
In terms of
The whole,
what we do, we eat too much. I know that. So I'm glad this one started on March 1st. It was a pretty good meal. But just trying to give the kids a feel, for the program's hard, especially when you recruit kids not from the region, to give them an idea of the type of support that this program has, the type of success that it's had, the belief in the tradition here. So just giving them an idea that, this is a big-time program. It's kind of tucked away and in the middle of the country and hasn't had a ton of success in the last decade. But we've had as much success in this league as anybody outside of Kansas consistently over the course of the league's time. And there's an opportunity for the future here that people want to support. I think they can still just see that there's a positive vibe around our team with our fan base, especially considering the lack of wins this year. So there's a lot of hope, and obviously we can build more talent. And maybe I can learn how to coach a little bit over the next few years and help us win some games.
How much can you use Thomas's summer workouts and work to younger guys say, put this effort in, results pay off? Ask for him.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking to my staff in September, October. We still had a lot of pieces and trying to figure out which parts, and I was tell them, I need Thomas to have a good season. It helps me continue to talk to the younger guys about, yes, it does work. Old-fashioned hard work still works. There's no magic pill. It's not the coach's fault. It's just get in the gym and put your time in, and things work out. And so his example this year will be something that we'll use for many years to come.
it was another good day for Curtis Saturday. Is that do you see him having more confidence, I guess?
I don't know. That'll be something for he and I to kind of discuss where the inconsistency and how that played out for him. But obviously he got a lot of ability. Maybe it's taking him a little bit longer than I thought it would to just feel comfortable with what we're doing. And his role hasn't been consistent either. Didn't start to the middle of the year. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I'll study it as soon as the season over. If I have a better feel, I'll let you know.